Welcome in, everyone, guys. How we doing? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Today we have our very first episode of our Project Zomcast podcast. This is episode 1. It's going to be a good time. We have special guest Peach smiling over there, as you can see, over that way. But guys, I hope you enjoy this. I hope you have a good time with it. Episode 1 is going to be fantastic. Peach, how are you doing? Welcome onto the podcast. I appreciate you coming on for this. It's going to be a good time for sure.
Yeah, thank you for this opportunity, and love the community you have here.
So, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? How you came across Project Zomboid? How you found it?
Yeah, I came across Zomboid when I was a big player of the free-to-play zombie game No More Room in Hell, and one of the main guys I played that game with, he also started to play Zomboid more and more, and so I eventually checked it out from there, and it was like around mid 2014 where I got into Zomboid, and then I was kind of on and off for quite a few years, and then I really got into it like 2018, 2019.
2014. Oh wow. It's been out for what, around 10 years now, Project Zomboid, give or take, I would say.
Probably, yeah.
That's a long ass time.
Came out around 2012, the Steam anyway, 2013.
Oh wow, yeah, because it was on another platform before, wasn't it? Before it originally came to Steam.
The alpha build, I think. The cane bolt spot, thing.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the launcher it was on, but it was a really weird and obscure launcher that it was actually on.
Isn't it like Desura or something? Desura?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Desura. Yeah. I remember. So you've been playing PZ off and on since 2014. How did you come across PZ?
Oh well, that yeah, I kind of answered that. Like my friend was playing it. I was like, what is Project Zomboid? And so I checked out the Steam page, and then went from there. Yeah, I've enjoyed it ever since.
What is a Project Zomboid? So obviously you've released a fair few mods. You've released I believe Authentic Z, the cheese car, the authentic animations, the opening hours challenge, the playable arcade machines, and the Illuminati mod. The truth is out, right? Is there 5 or 6 mods that you've done, I believe?
Like I've been involved with, I think it was like 28 mods, but
oh wow.
Yeah, that's like I publicly released. So yeah, I pulled a few mods over. So 30 projects, I guess you can say.
Oh wow.
Big and small. Another big mod I helped out with was the Clothes Boxed mod. May have to re-release that, but to get fixes through, since the guy I'm working with, he's not around anymore.
That's 30 mods. That's actually crazy. So how long did you start modding first with PZ, or was there another game before PZ that you started modding with?
Yeah, it was the first game I mod for yeah.
So how many years have you been modding on PZ? Have you been doing that since like 2018, 2019, or?
It was summer 2020.
Wow, good 2.5 years of modding then.
Basically 2 years now, yeah. Reaching 2 years.
So when it comes to Authentic Z is probably, what would you say, that's probably your most popular mod? Authentic Z?
Yeah.
So from when did you first come up with the idea or the concept of Authentic Z?
If we roll back, if we rewind back to December 2020, well, actually, even a few months before, a lot of people were playing this mod called Unique Z. Unique Z kind of did a bit what the kind of start of Authentic Z did. It added a lot more variety with the zombies with the vanilla base set, but the way that they went about it was they didn't really know the system that well. That I mean, that's fine. I'm not like um, I'm not bashing the mod author on it, but sometimes know the whole scope of it, and he ended up breaking the spawn system so that all the zombie outfits spawned everywhere, and so kind of created that kind of a perception that it added more variety, or it just kind of broke the system. Whereas, and then like an update happened, and then it broke, and then so there was kind of a period of time where people, there was a opening for a mod like it, and so I released, I found out how to fix that issue and released my own version of it, Authentic Z, and yeah, it's been kind of an upward trend ever since,
So you've
They
been
taking on more
working on
challenges.
sorry. You've been working on Authentic Z for what, like 2 years now? Roughly? Give or
Oh,
take?
1.5, 1.5.
One and a
Yeah.
half years? So how many, if you can even put a number on it, how many hours would you say you've put into PZ to get it from when it started to where it is now? How many hours would you say that's taken in total? I don't even know if you can put a number on that sort of thing.
Hundreds, I would say. Yeah.
Thousands?
Uh, what is 1,000 hours? Tell me. I at
It's a lot of days.
I can say hundreds. Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy. So, in terms of, I don't know, for example, Lady Dimitrescu, the Lady Dimitrescu outfit that's obviously in Authentic Z. So coming from obviously coming up with the idea of Lady Dimitrescu to the finished product, how long does that process sort of take?
Yeah. So, first of all, pronounce Lady Dimitrescu.
Thank you.
um, so like the workflow of the outfit, right? Well, in the code, it's fairly simple on like how it's structured. It's but basically in an outfit, you break everything down to its main part. So, for instance, with what I'm wearing a t-shirt. I'm wearing some slacks. I'm wearing some socks, some shoes,
You wearing
stuff.
pants?
Yeah, some slacks. I don't know about you, man, but yeah, that's and so y- sometimes outfits can be very simple. You can knock that out in like probably 20 minutes of thinking and getting the right IDs, link them all together, and then on top of that, you got to covers a little like a few lines of code for the hairstyle that you want, and hairstyle, beard style, kind of same file. And then if you want that outfit to for any weapons to spawn in any different location. Yeah, there was one outfit that I'm in the process of redoing. It was the Winslow Spike Porcupine Zombie from Walking Dead season 7.
Yeah, yeah.
That took me like a few months. So yeah, it can take from 20 minutes to a few months.
So Anna just had a really good question in the chat. She has asked, how did you learn coding? Did you take any courses for it, or was it all like self-learn? Or
Yeah, I took a few classes in high school, and I'm studying computer engineering now. But I mean, a lot of the stuff that I've learned here for modding for Zomboid is self-learn. I just kind of like read the code like from either other modders. That's how I really started out, and then doing some of my own stuff. Experimenting, and then I of course also reading the code of the game too. Of course, you're not going to understand much, at first. But it's building blocks. So
so if anyone wanted to, I don't know, like start modding, say myself or someone in chat, what start modding and adding some clothes into the game. Like, is there any sort of programs that we should get a hold of or anything like that at all, or to learn, or?
Yeah, so I have Blender is what I use for 3D modeling. I learned that within 2 months of just watching YouTube videos and doing what they did. And the main the main program I use for browsing files and editing stuff is a Notepad++. It is the kind of the main two. And if you're going to make any or start up any major project, learn GitHub. Back up your projects with GitHub, because sometime down the line you may screw up and you have to revert, and GitHub's logs every change you've done to every file. And so it's great. Like if you think you've lost some data, you can just look up in the cloud and find that change and then revert. So stuff like that.
Could you imagine not having Authentic Z backed up and then just off?
Yeah, there are some parts where it really saved my skin.
Have you nearly lost any of the files? Like, has there been like oh crap, it's wiped, I've got to go get the backup? Has that happened at all?
Maybe like a file or two. I think it also helped out with a model too. So, it saves hours and hours of work. I haven't had a point with Authentic Z anyway where it like half the project is gone and it's like, But another good thing with the Steam Workshop anyway, it actually, I get I push a copy to that too. So that's also another fail safe. It's just that I need some of the source files that go into the uploading process. If I lose those files, then I'm kind of screwed. But of course, I got those back too.
I was trying to think of my next question, and it's literally just gone from the top of my head. Oh, that's it. So when, obviously, the game goes from patch to patch, so let's say 41.71 to 41.72, for example, I take it that your Authentic Z and your other mods and that need some sort of patch and stuff to bring it up to the latest version. Is there much to do in terms of updating it patch to patch, or is it just reload it up again and boom, it's fine? Or is there like changes of code and stuff that needs to happen?
It really depends how you set up your mod. Something with Authentic Z, it has a lot of moving parts, and so when the devs update the game, it there's no chance of it knocking all the parts out. Maybe one part doesn't work, and you have to address it. Maybe like one instance of that was when Eris was brought onto their dev team, and they updated the annotated map system. All my hit lists stopped working, and so it's just a matter of learning what to do next, how to update that, and then push the next little hot fix. But for other mods, it really depends on like how you set up your mod. Sometimes, I would just kind of take it all out depending on like the size of it. So
yeah, that makes sense for sure. So obviously, Authentic Z, how many outfits is there in total? I believe you said in Thursdoid there was about 808 roughly costumes.
No, those are items.
Items.
With my outfits, I'm probably at 150, or if not, pretty close to it.
Do you have a favorite one that's in the old collection, or not yet?
I have a few. I can't really rank it on terms of my things being favorite, because I was playing yesterday and I found myself just changing through outfits, changing through my favorite ones. I like the maid, I like the cheerleader, I like Lady Demotress.
Oh yeah, I see how this is going. I see where this is going.
I made up, and Yeah, and with coming up with the newest update I have up in wraps. Well, my newer main character is gonna be Paul Blart. You know, kind of fat security guard, right? And yeah, some cool outfits coming up in this next update. You know, fatter zombies. So
So we're gonna get Paul Blart.
yeah.
Is he gonna have his little sexy swagway as well?
Well, probably not. You know,
So you've obviously done the cheese car. How is that a longer process than say clothing? Is that more difficult, or is that roughly the same sort of time?
yes. So yeah, it's a different process, and it can get there's a bit more of a technical side to it because you gotta choose like all the different stats for the car, and you may not know what those tags do. You know, like there's like engine force. There's I just that's like one of the one term I run off the top of my head from that process. There's that, and then you got to keep track of all of and make sure all the textures work, like your rust overlay, your blood overlay, and yeah, I can. I've I made the cheese car. I've had other projects that I tried to get finish up and have working, but it's I think it's a little bit. I find for me anyway, it'd be a bit more frustrating process because it's kind of hard to diagnose what's going on. So that's just my opinion. I mean, don't let my opinion um, influence or like discourage any ideas you have.
So
Any projects you have.
chat have just asked when we're gonna get the Paul Blart Segway mod, if that's gonna be in the works.
Well, I would have to 3D model it, and then, yeah, when people suggest like, oh, like when is this going to happen? It's like, when are you going to make this mod? And it's like, I scale up the mod, and it's like, yeah, that's a lot of work.
We want it now. We need it. So, can you tell us what you've got planned for Fenexi? Can you release any details on that and stuff?
Yeah, so I put a lot into this next update. So a big thing fat zombies. Let me Can I post links in your chat?
You can't, but we can show it on screen if you want.
Can I can send it to you then, DM it?
Yeah, you can DM it, or we can show it on screen quickly. If you share your screen, and I'll flick over there.
Okay, well there's the link right there. That's to my idea board. That's my Trello. In that you see you would see what I have done and ready and what I'm working on right now. So I'm pretty open and transparent about my work.
Okay. I'm just worried if I click on it, you might move. Hang on. Yeah, okay, I've lost you for a second.
Yeah, the big thing about it is
So that's everything you're working on, is it?
Yep. It's everything with Authentic Z.
Oh, Michael Jackson?
Yeah, so that's an outfit that I've kind of shelved for quite a bit, because that jacket is, I really want to get that jacket right, so.
Oh my god, you got Star Wars coming as well. Us nerds, we're gonna love you even more, Peach.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what is Shockmaster Z? Is that like an electric zombie or?
It's from a WCW clip anyway of like a kind of a very chunky, very I don't want to say obese, but I mean he's a big guy, big wrestler that is known
Cancelled.
for like that is known for wearing a sparkly stormtrooper helmet, and for him like ultimately doing a big fail in his premiere at WCW, and he was supposed to burst through a wall, but he ended up like tripping and falling down. The helmet fell off and everything. It was quite an occurrence. You can search it up on YouTube. There's gifs all over. It's pretty funny.
I'll definitely have to give that a watch. Have you got any? I mean, this is the real question, right? Because we all know that Lord of the Rings is better than Star Wars, right, chat? Have you got any plans for Lord of the Rings mods? I don't know, like a Gandalf or a couple of Gimlis running around.
I'm of the other opinion.
Oh,
Yeah. I have a few more mods to be that I kind of just want to move on to kind of VFX and um, more working within Blender, because Blender you can do like 3D animation movies, stuff like that. More so perfect my art on with my models and whatnot too. So there's a lot of things I can do other than game modding.
yeah, for sure, for sure. So you're obviously working on Fat Zombies at the moment. How close to release are they, and how long have they sort of taken you from, again, starting out to nearly finishing? Like, how long's the process been for you?
Yeah, let's see. I started tackling it probably a month ago now. But now I would say if it could be a week and a half, depending on. I don't recover and everything. I've been sick this past week, and that really hampered my ability to push things out. To uh, to mod.
Got to get rid of the
'Cause,
Rona first, right, and then start working on those mods
uh,
and slamming them
uh,
hard again.
I did not have COVID. Verified with the test, so.
So obviously the Fat Zombies, you said that there's going to be different variations, aren't there?
Yeah, so you have it's three different body types. So you have your dad bod, then kind of in the
That's
middle of
me.
that, which then you have kind of in the middle called the fast food lover, the burger lover, and then a level 3 is obese, very all very. I mean, it's supposed to hit the stereotypes, so that it fills in a lot of the what a lot of people would expect, trying to meet people's expectations on that, on like what would a fat zombie in Zomboid look like. I'm trying to get
Yeah,
that.
for sure,
Yeah.
for sure. So are they going to have different like walking speeds compared to our usual zombies? And are the three different variations going to, I don't know, are they going to walk slightly slower, like obese, slower than the fast food eater, or are they all going to be around the same sort of speed as the base game, so to say?
They're gonna be the same sort of speed. I'm very hesitant to make like special zombies with the current branch of Authentic Z that I'm working with. Maybe down the line, when if I want to tackle boss zombies, and, make some of
Hmm.
the outfits into kind of like their own kind of final boss type of deal. I might work on the speeds of fast zombies. No promises on that though. But yeah, I'm not. I don't want to merge that type of code in with Authentic Z, because the second I do that, people will be up in arms saying like, "Oh, give me another
Yeah.
branch without that," and I don't want to make another branch.
Yeah,
It's
it
hard.
essentially
It's
becomes sprinters,
really
doesn't
hard
it?
to yeah, I mean, it's really hard to manage multiple branches to the mod and keep them all updated when you're you're still working, when you're still developing.
Yeah,
So
yeah. It's like like you said. Now you say it makes sense not to add it to the current code, because if you add it to the current code, people are going to moan, and then it essentially it needs to be, like you said, it needs to be its own standalone mod. A bit like how you can enable sprinter settings and stuff, right? So people have that option.
exactly.
So out of all the 30 mods you've made or worked on, do you have a favorite to both play with and second to code with?
Well, it'd be authentic Z, yeah.
For
I
both?
mean, yeah, and yeah, runner up would be authentic animations. Um, because with that, I'm able to move the character in different ways that you can't normally, and with unused vanilla animations,
That
be
allows you
quite
to
interesting.
lay down and have I seen wipe your nose as well with that? So what can you do with authentic animations? Like what does it allow you to do? Obviously it allows you I'm sure I've seen laying down on beds and camping beds and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah. Those laying down the sitting animations got flushed out with the True Actions mods made by Ibris. Definitely recommend those mods. But without authentic animations, the big things that you can do, you can shamble like a zombie. You can walk around and like how they do, and um, also you can like go prone. You can walk on your on all fours, and and you can pose. That's another way. Like how you see the mannequins pose. That's another thing you can do. You can have your character pose for
I need to
it's
add that to the server.
yeah, and it's accessible with the emote wheel. It's just an expansion of it. So and it's compatible with the dancing mod too, with Ibris's dancing mod.
I can just picture now adding it to the server, right, and then having the usernames off the top on a server, and then just shambling around like a zombie and making people panic in their base. I think that'd be a good
For
time.
sure.
So, what sort of Project Zomboid run are you currently running? Then let's move away from your mods a little bit and find out what sort of game mode, like what sort of settings are your favorite go to play with. Or do you not really have any?
Yeah. So from the beginning, before I even got into modding, I was always kind of like a apocalypse vanilla type of person. Um, but I've kind of moved away from it. I run with a whole bunch of mods now. I'm not really a big fan of playing with sprinters, only because those runs, tend to be a little too stressful for me and too short. I I really like runs where you go through challenge, and you survive through all of them, and then you enter that kind of like still part of the or very quiet part of the playthrough, where you contemplate all the actions you've done and everything. I just really like playthroughs like that kind of like seem like a satisfying journey. And then I also like building crazy bases too in that journey too. So it's sense of accomplishment from there.
Yeah, the
And
the base building has to be one of the best parts about Project Zomboid for sure.
yeah, you can't really get that with sprinter runs unless you're really really good at it. And you don't have like a bloodlust for killing sprinters. Yeah.
Sprinters are fun. I just find they're just too easy to cheese, especially with like the jumping over the fence strat and then poke them in the head.
Yeah, I've watched the sprinter runs people are doing, and a big component of sprinter combat is using your short fences. So yeah,
So, where is your favorite place to spawn in Project Zomboid?
West Point, West
Ooh,
Point gang for life. West Point is the best point.
I disagree. I'm gonna have to say Rosewood out here.
West Point has a lot better loot than in Rosewood. Like the especially since like in the past patches, all your storage areas in Rosewood got changed into what like the food storage, right? Food in sacks, right?
Yeah,
And by default, right? That's another thing. It's a big perk to West Point now, since it has storage facilities in the eastern part of it,
yeah, that's true.
and
That's true.
and there's a big hardware store in West Point. There's a lack thereof in Rosewood. That's a big down. Another thing on downplay of choosing Rosewood is like you either go when you spawn there, and you have to rely on the garages for all your weapons and tools.
I mean, if you go big mode, there is obviously the I think there's like 3 or 4 warehouses northeast of Rosewood, to like the west side of I don't want to say it's basically tainted in this channel, Muldrow. What a godforsaken place.
Yeah, F the dro.
F the dro. You heard it here first, chat. Absolutely hate that place. Is that your most hated place to spawn? It's got to be, right?
Yeah, I would rather spawn in Martridge than in Rosewood. I mean, than in Muldrow. I'm sorry. It's on there. Yeah, because even Martridge has like a 2-story store, and even the not the adult education center. But there's another kind of education building that it can also have a lot of good loot in it too.
Yeah, true. I would rather.
And also that apartment complex has some really good loot too, and in like the wardrobes and whatnot. I don't know what Sponte was put in or whatnot, but yeah, I definitely recommend trying to run through it and steal some loot. But yeah, Muldrow kind of backwater.
Yeah, I'd definitely rather stand on Lego or multiple plug sockets than than ever spawn in Muldrow again, to be honest. So in terms of, sorry, I'll let you continue. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, if I spawn Muldrow, my first objective, get out of Muldrow.
Yeah,
north to Dixie or something.
What about Louisville? What do you think of that? Apart from an absolute zombie filled cesspool.
Oh yeah, I like Louisville because it's it's a new frontier, and I like learning all the new locations where I can possibly base at. It's of course hard to because due to the populations, but yeah. My last run I went with my went with the buds I was playing with. I went to the Ridge Hotel, which is south, directly south from the Grand Ohio Mall, which is located in the top right corner of the map of Louisville. And yeah, we took it over. There's some special paintings there, and of course with Authentic Z, I put the maids there and Lady Demotress. So of course you kind of get adding some nice special zombies there, along with Lady Demotress being kind of the boss zombie that rules over it. So it's pretty cool.
I just feel like you like women in outfits at this moment in time, to be honest, Peach. The maids, Lady Demotress. There's a certain pattern coming on here, my friend.
I mean, I also like the clowns. The clowns are coming together. I love the mimes. I mean, if you see like the I request the artwork the way to be done the way it was. Some of my favorite outfits made by the artist in the community here, Lizard Man. Definitely love his work. He did some art for different streamers, and yeah. Yeah, it was funny. I had on stream. I also have it clipped out on my Twitch. One of my I was playing on like an RP server, and somebody got actually directly taken down by Lady Demotress, and we were kind of making fun of him. So they're like, "Oh, you got taken down by Lady D," and he's like, "Yeah." I mean, he was pretty experienced. He's a pretty good player, and he's like, "Yeah, probably the best death I ever had." No regrets.
Yeah, absolutely none. I mean, if you see Lady Demotress running at you, you don't, you embrace it. You don't run away from it. So, F the Dro, big up West Point, and obviously Rosewood. Favorite weapons now. If you had to pick vanilla weapons, if you had to pick your favorite vanilla weapon, what would it be? and why?
Um, yeah, I would either go long blunt or axe. That's my choice. But of course, I use what's there, and go from there. But if there's like a whole room of weapons, whole arsenal of weapons, and whatever, if I was to choose anything, I'll probably choose like the axes the most due to that kind of high crit and high damage output.
Don't
Yeah,
forget the high
that's my
endurance.
yeah, and even with like long blunt and everything, I want that extra reach, that extra breathing room. I don't like to. I tried to avoid using like short blade, and short blunt is like if you like do one miss swing, you're done. It gets you.
See, I used to be, well, I still am really big, but I used to be really, really big when it came to the crowbar and long blunt. But ever since I started this 16 times zombie pop on day one 0 to hero challenge, I've actually been like gravitating towards short blunt, not short blunt, short blade, sorry, and hunting knives purely because obviously with zero fitness and zero strength, literally 3 swings of a crowbar and you're overexhausted. But yeah, I've and Ben, if you're here, fuck spears.
Yeah, spears are pretty nasty. Yeah. I mean, there's some people that are really good with spears, but I'm not one of them.
Oh, dude, it's
And
that poke
yeah,
animation.
spears. Yeah, that one animation can really screw you over if you don't know how to combat your character from performing it.
Yeah, I just wish that that animation would go out of the game, to be honest. Or it would. It's not so much the animation; it's the fact that you get like a frame lock after using a spear, right? And it's that second or two where you're frame locked. That's
Yeah,
the issue for
your
me.
character's rooted into the ground. Yeah.
Least favorite weapon, Peach. It's got to be spears, right? Don't do me dirty here.
Yeah. I wouldn't. I mean, like if I see like a zombie in the horde and they have like a hunting knife attached to a spear, I'm like, okay, I'll try the spears. Famous last words. I'll try the spears again.
So, back to talking about mods. Actually, no, we'll go a different direction. Sorry. Starting a game. Obviously, you've got traits and perks and occupations that you can choose from. What are your go-to occupations, traits, and the ones that you tend to avoid? Obviously, death has got to be up there as one to avoid for sure.
Oh, yeah, I'm quite the opposite on it. Yeah, I mean, like yeah, I choose keen hearing. I can't go run without keen hearing. Because I've lost long-term characters with one zombie coming up from behind me when I'm kiting a few zombies. That's I don't want to get burned again when it comes to that. Yeah. So in terms of professions, I usually go fitness instructor because I like running, of running around hordes, corralling the hordes, and I'll admit that it's not the most like efficient way to play, in terms of, like, oh, you don't have to run, you just all you have to do is just walk because you walk faster than the zombie shamble.
That's me.
Well, well, for me, I don't want to be like 1 second away, one misstep away from the zombies, grabbing me and
Bite in
and
the
taking me
dick,
down, yeah.
bite in the groin.
And
That's a go-to.
whereas I like to corral the hordes like and bunch them all up and keep them all interested and moving the horde away. And yeah, and I also like fast paced runs where I smash and grab and narrowly escape. I get a kick out of that. And so yeah, it's just it's my play style of playing. Yeah, it's the way I play, and it's fun.
Now, what
Yeah,
about?
I've used that play style anyway to escape Raven Creek in like 6, 7 6, 7 in-game hours. So I don't like insane pop, and so without a sledgehammer, mind you, and so you have to go through the back tunnels of it and run around all the zombies that hide in the back tunnels. So yeah.
I think I remember
uh,
watching that stream actually when
oh,
you were
nice.
trying to escape Raven Queen. That was a few months ago now, I think, wasn't it? A couple of months
It
ago
was,
now.
it was a good month. Yeah,
Yeah, I think I
good
remember
month
watching
and a
that.
half. Cool.
So, what are your sort of favourite challenge runs? Obviously, you see, for example, Ruel Storage doing a 16 times day one zero to hero as well. Cryogenic. You got the sprinter only server, run by Lamprey. You've got CDDA. I mean, that's a really good challenge. Road trip. All these really cool challenges that people are coming up with. So, what are your favourite challenges to both play and to watch as well?
Yeah, I would say like the favorite ones I like to play. Of course, CDA is the classic. You know, classic one you can always default to. I also recently tried out the Facility 7 map challenge, or the challenge map of that. So I definitely recommend that. But my favorite one has been Road Trip to do, because I also put a little spin on it where I have to escape Raven Creek within a day and base in Louisville within a week. And then some of the new stuff I have going forward, that I have to pass Blackwood, which is kind of a detour out of your normal route. And yeah, just there's a lot of cool things they can attack on from there. But yeah, road trip is definitely my favorite one to play and to watch too.
Road trip is I'm trying to think what it is off the top of my head. It's going from A to B, isn't it? It's basically go from start off in this place and then make your way over to other place, isn't it? Are you allowed to use cars and stuff, or is it just on foot?
Oh
I'm
yeah,
not.
yeah, you can use cars.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay. And
yeah,
Facility 7, is that the one where you're in hazmat suits? Is that the one I'm thinking of? And if you're
yeah,
exposed to the air?
yeah. You have
That
to
one?
wear a gas mask or hazmat. Yeah.
That tough. So someone in chat just asked, sorry, Aiden English, if you ever did a real-time Zomboid challenge, how long would you survive? So if the zombie apocalypse came, Peach, how long would you survive? What would you do? Where would you go?
That's quite the question. I would um well, with the current situation, I live in the one of the bigger cities of the U.S., so I have to like kind of get out. So
Big yikes.
I'll probably go towards the woods, of course. Right? I mean, then the meta stuff, right? So it really depends when it starts, right? If I'm like at my university when it starts, yeah, good luck, bro. Um, I'll probably try to venture out onto the train tracks and get out from there. Um, yeah, and if I'm at home when it happens, then hopefully I have enough. I've prepared for it. I have enough um, supplies. Stocked up and everything. So yeah, that's not the most exciting one, but uh, yeah. I mean, it's quite an interesting question, right? Yeah.
I mean, Godspeed if you're going to head towards them woods. If Project Zomboid has taught me anything, it's to avoid those woods. So, going back to the mods a little bit, what sort of mods? What are your not your own favorite mods, but what are the other favorite mods that you have? So, like, I don't know, for example, pit stop, or I'm just trying to think of things off the top of my head. So, like, pit stop, and I don't know. I want to say Fenexi Z, but obviously that's your mod, so we can't. So we can't say that. But yeah, if you boot up a save, what are your go-to mods to start and load up with?
Yeah, some of the mods I usually play with, I love playing with, of course, the dancing mod, and I've been really enjoying, exploring all the tuning car mods, such as it's all the auto stars, aqua
Mm.
stars, all those vehicle mods. I really get a kick out of playing with those.
Favorite
Yeah,
vehicle? I feel like you're a waifu Jeep kind of person, to be honest.
I mean, I do like the auto stars Jeep. Yeah, and I do like those little 2C Jeep. Jeeps in vanilla. Those are pretty cool. But wait, if I see a auto stars motor club motorcycle, I'm gunning for it. I really like the motorcycles.
Oh, they are awful to handle though. I've tried them on the server, and you're just literally swaying in and out and in and out.
Yeah, but that makes it super fun though. I get a kick out of it, and I also love getting another person on the ride on my back. Ride on with me, and so it's really cool. I
Yeah,
really like. Probably I would say it's probably my favorite mod.
yeah. Auto
Yeah,
Stars is pretty great. I love the quad bike personally. There's nothing better than just zooming down the road on a little quad bike, hopping off, splatting
yeah.
some
The only
skulls.
only downside on the quad bike, it's very easy for a zombie to sneak a bite on you.
Yeah,
In comparison, even to the motorcycles. The motorcycles, you have a little bit more time
it's
to
the
get out of
animation, isn't
any
it?
situation.
Yeah, the
It's
animation.
actually like the hitbox. The hitbox is
Oh,
bigger
okay.
on the quad, because I know that it goes into knowing how vehicle mods are made. You get to set how big your door space is, and the door, like the quote unquote door space for the quad bike, is actually kind of bigger than the motorcycle.
Ah, and that affects your hitbox.
Yeah.
The
So
more you know.
if when a zombie lines up and it hit and a lot, hits it, and yeah, I've been easily bitten on the quad bikes in comparison to the motorcycles. So it's just, I love riding them too. It's just, I mean, I have to be very more a lot more wary, very more cautious.
So obviously, with in the latest Thursdoids, we've got animals come in. Well, some animals come in. We're getting a reworked. My mind's going blank. We're getting a reworked sort of crafting system as well, aren't we? In this next update, and then obviously in the future we're going to be getting NPCs as well. So before we touch on that, is there anything in PZ that you'd like to see reworked or revamped or balanced out a little bit? Like maybe, I don't know, food rots too far. I mean that's even in the lure, isn't it? I mean, arguably, so you could change that. But is there any sort of mechanics you'd like to see changed, or anything like that at all?
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to how they're going to do the revamp on the
Mm.
professions revamp, like or expansion, the skill system, so that different characters pull together to actually build your Alexandria style.
Yeah.
Uh, how would you call it? Safe haven. Another thing I would like to see, of course, I guess, flush out some of the other animations, like vomiting. I would definitely like to see that, like food sickness,
Yeah.
the one, or like crawling, for to kind of flesh out the sneaking aspect more.
Oh
In
yeah,
terms of
yeah.
like revamps, anyway. Um, I mean, they done well to kind of tweak guns anyway. So that was always kind of my go-to thing. But I think with the vanilla vehicles, I would like to see them get kind of given a like an auto stars kind of touch to it, where you can like upgrade them and have your visible character. You have your characters be visible in them, and and like animated hoods and trunks and doors. Yeah, yeah. Well, I want vehicles to get a lot more love. Let's just say.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point. About your first point, obviously they're going to do the overhaul of the trait system now. There, if we're being honest, there's a lot of free skill points. Weak stomach. All you got to do, avoid burnt food, raw food, smoker. I mean, smoker should, I feel, impact fitness somehow. Maybe slow down recovery rate. Something along them lines. I mean, there's loads, right? What else have you got? You've got prone to illness. Just don't stand out in the cold in naked. So yeah, it'd be nice to see the trait system, and how they're going to do it. Actually, is going to be quite interesting. I mean, like Chat's just said, smoker's technically a positive trait because it gets rid of your nervousness and your anxiousness and you're stressed a little bit. So and cigarettes are everywhere. Like, you literally survive a month and you've got, like, I guarantee at least 500 cigarettes sticking out somewhere.
Yeah.
So, you've been playing this game since 2014, if my brain remembers, but my brain can't even remember what I had for breakfast this morning, so. Been playing since 2014. You've obviously seen the game progress, over 8 years. What's been your favourite sort of like vanilla update that's dropped for PZ? Because obviously they've redone all the character models, and we've had a lot of updates over the past 8 years.
Yeah, Cars was big when they officially released that. I remember playing with the Nolan Ritchie mod of the old car mod. I remember playing that one to actually bring cars in the Zomboid, because I remember a time before when there were no cars in the Zomboid, and making the long trek from Muldraw to West Point. Yeah, it wasn't really that fun. But
Oh my god, I can imagine.
I would say my favorite one, favorite update has definitely been the animation update of Build 41, which released like around like October 2019. And yeah, I'm definitely playing it, and I helped report a whole lot of bugs at the beginning portion of it, because there are plenty of them. And but thankfully, Indystone has been very responsive, and to bug reports, and it will be, and are willing to help sit down and work through the issues with you as you report them. So I've had a lot of good experiences with that.
Indystone are very good at that. I find they're very good at communication, updating their game. I mean, the game's been out for like nearly 10 years and they're still updating it, working on it, loving the community and stuff. But saying that, is there anything that, obviously as a modder, is there anything that Indystone could do to make modding easier for you guys? Like, is there any sort of things they could change on their end to help with that sort of thing, or is it really as optimized as it can be in terms of getting mods sorted out and uploaded and stuff?
Yeah, so there's a few things. I mean, of course, nothing is perfect, right? Disclaimers aside, right? I would say there, of course, like the number one issue with updating mods, it's a little bit more technical. This was an issue that came up with Build 41 multiplayer, that I can actually like delete files on my end and have servers recognize that deletion, and it would throw errors for people not being able, and it will disallow people from actually joining, because it will give an error, that infamous red text error saying like this file does not um this file does not exist on the client, something like that. That just kind of working through those type of issues. Yeah, those kind of originate from Steam not updating things. So yeah, that was a big. It has been and it still is kind of a big headache for modders anyway. But otherwise, making more tools. Like I know they mentioned they name dropped for the first time in a while. Anim Z. I definitely want to. After I finish up at Authentic Z, I want to get into animations, and so it will definitely help to get like an actual program, actual tool to uh, streamline the process of adding custom animations.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
Because a lot of it is just shots in the dark and throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. And yeah, that's some of the new developers they've been hiring have been really helpful for me anyway. So, but I guess another thing would be to kind of just free up different parts of the code that are hard locked in Java, and having it so we can easily use it in Lua. Yeah, so
I imagine if they use that program that you were talking about that allows you to streamline, I imagine would that help cut like hours out of modding and stuff, or I take it would,
easily,
right? Easily.
Anim Z, yeah. The one developer that was working on it, God, probably like 5 years ago. I guess he's not with them anymore. He had to step away for health concerns. But they recently hired on a new guy who said that they may be willing to tackle that project again. So that's why they name dropped it. And so, but I'm like, when I read that in the Thursday, I think it might have been last Thursday or the one before. My response to that was like, "Oh, don't get my hopes up again." I put those hopes to bed years ago.
Why'd you keep waking them for? Why you do this?
Yeah. So, yeah, let's say like 6 months pass, and I do go into tackle my animation project. I'll probably end up releasing the guide to put in motion capture style animations into Zomboid.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, because the dancing mod that it does that's kind of the model that I'm going after. I did work briefly with Ibris on that, and he showed me how and taught me how to add motion capture animations to Zomboid. So I definitely want to flesh a lot more of that aspect out. And anyway, I want to make an actual guide for people. If Anim said, again, if that tool never gets released, we'll at least have a guide to do it.
That's well, yeah. I reckon that guide would probably, you'd probably see quite a few more number of people wanting to get into the modern scene because honestly, like, I don't really have the time for it, but I've always wanted to be like, yo, we could do a really cool mod, but then it's like, where the hell do I start? So having that sort of guide readily available would be good for a lot of people that want to start out in the modern scene for this game.
Yeah, I've already made another guide. I have a 3D modeling guide. You want me to send you that link?
You can let me permit you in chat quickly. You've been permitted.
Okay, I can send links.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, this is the link to the guide I made for adding 3D models to Zomboid, and it goes into clothing modding too.
Ooh, I might have to check that out myself after the stream today. Get cracking. So we obviously mentioned earlier that the next update, cows and expanded craft, and then the one after that, NPC. So let's touch up on the animals, right? Because my dream for the animals update is that I want to be able to ride a cow. Like, I want to have a cow with armor on and an army of cows behind me, and I want to go stampeding in to a zombie horde with like a full battalion of cows, Have you got any plans for animal modding? I don't know if you've thought that far ahead or anything like that.
Yeah, I always thought of the animal, the animal NPC. I always thought of that as a little bit more far off in distance. I would think we'll get the reworks before, but it looks like they're tackling animal modding. That's why I didn't really thought of them much. But really, it's I would have to look at what they have done and what they haven't done, and do what they haven't done. That's kind of and if they do keep that same texture that they shared out for their cows, that'll probably be mod number one. Change that godforsaken cow texture to something a little bit more natural.
The
If you know what I mean.
I mean, the question is: are you going to bring out? Are you going to bring out like different cows? Like, are you going to release different cow models as well? Cows with Mohicans, cows with, armored vests, so we can ride them.
Yeah, it really depends on how they implement them, and if we're able to kind of easily adjust anything. Yeah, but I think my bigger thing would be to kind of try to make things that they haven't, or yeah, it really depends on what they release. So, what other animals they have in mind. I think rats were one of the things that they wanted to implement.
I know they've mentioned
I'm
cows, sheep, and chickens, haven't they?
Cows, sheep, and chickens. Okay.
Because I remember them saying about the war.
Yeah, those are expected. Man, have they mentioned anything about wolves?
Oh my god, could you imagine them attacking you as well as zombies in the forest? Oh, my days.
Yeah. So
I think having, the trapping aspect, obviously we can get, rabbits, mice, rats, birds. I wonder if we'd see any of them sort of things in the update as well, because surely it makes sense to have a squirrel model or a rabbit model to, I don't know. Although I imagine the load on the CPU, could you imagine them running around in the forest on a 16 times on top as well?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, they definitely need to optimize the game a whole lot more. So hopefully we'll get some of those optimizations before they end up releasing their animal update.
Yeah.
I would definitely if they attack it on right as it is, a lot of people's systems will be cooking.
Yeah,
to say the least.
For sure. I mean, we were obviously doing the 16 times day 1 0 to hero yesterday, and you got like 30 zombies in front of you, and I noticed this bug yesterday. I don't know if anyone else has mentioned it or noticed it before, but you got like this really intense music playing now, like and you're like right in the zone, and then all of a sudden I've still got like 10 zombies left in front of me, and it like completely cuts out. Because I'm pretty sure it's meant to loop now, isn't it? It's meant to like loop and then slow down the less zombies, and it just like completely cut out. And I was like, well, this seems a bit peaceful for what's actually going on in front of me right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Lately when I'm playing Zomboid on stream, I usually actually mute the music and play music like Two Steps from Hell, which is like the as your stereotypical epic music, So
I'm definitely too worried about DMCA to even try that. I mean, non-DMCA music's alright, but when you want that heavy metal going, when you're slamming those zombies around.
Oh, that's the audio routing for you. I have it on the channel where it doesn't pick up any of that on the VOD. So as long as I'm still small enough of a stream where I don't get those live live DMCA. So yeah.
So going back to obviously using Blender for the character models and stuff, is that the sort of, if anyone wanted to get into modding in PZ and animations and stuff, is Blender the go-to program to use, or is there any other programs out there that you would recommend for people?
Yeah, definitely Blender. Is the program to go to. It's streamlined. Its UI is definitely, it's greatly improved, in the past couple of years. And yeah, there are a lot of guides. It's an open source free program. It's not you with any other like 3D program. It's either kind of crappy UI, old, or you have to pay a lot of money for it. There's 3D programs like Cinema 4D, 3ds Max. Yeah, those are the your and Maya. Those are your alternatives, but those are of course more professional grade. But if you just want to learn, yeah, just Blender. It's free, open source.
Sweet.
Can't get any better than that.
Yeah, that nothing beats that. It's like OBS as well, right? I can't believe that's still free and open source as well. It's kind of crazy that is still the case as well.
Yeah, like all the add-ons and whatnot you can tack onto it. Yeah, that's a great part of it being open source. A lot of third parties can add little tools or anything that can definitely streamline, save you a lot of hours.
Yeah, definitely. So obviously, animals. I'm not sure what they're going to do about the. They said with the crafting update, they want us to essentially be able to live off the land. I'm sure I've read that somewhere in one of the first oids. I can't remember that they want to expand the crafting system enough that we can like live off the land if we want to, and not have to loot a certain house. Am I right in thinking that, Peach, or am I completely off the mark right now?
Oh, I mean, like living off the land. I mean, they definitely improved that with the foraging system, and the foraging kind of little game of walking around. It's definitely been a great improvement over the past foraging systems that they've implemented. So it's a whole thing about living off the land. Yeah, that's big thing with that. But when you factor in animals,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure if you explored the part in Hydrocraft where you can use a dog to find cow poop.
Oh,
And you
wow.
can use that cow poop to actually find cows. And if you know how to loop it, you loop the whole process correctly, you get an insane amount of beef. And I don't know yeah. Said yeah. Um, yeah. Even though the stuff in Hydrocrab is not exactly NPCs, it's not. It's kind of just like just items at that point. That's kind of what dogs were and
Yeah.
the animals were. But,
I mean,
it was a valiant effort, and it came out. I don't know how many years ago. So
it's crazy, isn't it, when you think about it? Because I know when I mean, I've only been playing Zomboid 6 months, but I've been watching like Drunk on Life is like a good friend of mine and stuff, who I've known for like a couple of years now, through a stream team that we share in common and stuff. And you sort of look, when you're not familiar with Zomboid, I feel like you look at the game and you're like, wow, this is a really simplistic game, and it's really not. Once you start taking off those layers and you start getting deep, you've got like. You can literally dismantle anything, make stuff, repair your cars, dismantle electronics. You can do, obviously, door opening, remote control. Like, there's so much to this game that just makes it so great.
It's going down the rabbit hole,
Yeah. I mean, I've had the game 5 months now. I think I've been streaming it solo, and I've done like nearly 500 hours in it already, and like literally no other game has grabbed me as much as PZ has in a hot minute. To be fair, just because there's so much to do, and I think the best part about PZ is that it's the sandbox mode. It's got infinite replayability. You want sprinters, you can have sprinters. You don't want 100% sprinters, all right, 2% sprinters. All right, you don't want 16 times pop, put it down to 2 times. Oh, okay, you're finding loads of loot. Whack that down to extremely rare. Like, literally, the game is infinite replayability. There's so many challenges. I mean, there's probably a million more challenges that content creators or modders or the devs or community members could could come up with. Like there's just so much to do.
Yeah, and maybe you want to survive in a new area, or try to challenge yourself and survive in a very inconvenient area, or like that's not really
Yeah,
that pragmatic. Yeah, there's a lot of things to do, or collect loot. I like collecting loot.
yeah. All the loot
I'm a loot
goblins in here.
goblin.
Yeah,
So yeah.
for sure. I mean, I really liked Rual's run. I don't know how much you watch Rual or anything, but Rual had a really interesting run, and he was like doing a museum. I don't know if you ever got around to seeing that, but he was basically, I think he was like living off the land, so he basically built a museum completely out of wood and stuff, and he'd have like an antique kitchen that he'd find, and then he'd have like all different knives on shelves, and he'd literally be hunting for like every single item in the game to put it in the museum, which I thought was it's like it's like Pokemon, innit? Collect all the items.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It comes with that with like the vanilla items, yeah. And kind of like I built off that in Authentic Z, with all the rare clothing, and you want to collect this outfit or that outfit, or you know,
If we
same,
can't
same type of thing.
find a specific item in like Authentic Z, obviously, like we're walking around the map, we're after that balloon for our Alice Pack level 3 balloon attachment. Is there anywhere on the map that we should sort of straggle towards to try and find the rarest sort of clothing or items?
Yeah, you try to check out the shopping malls. I have it where there's a chance for a random spawn at the shopping malls, like where you can choose in the whole library of outfits. You can just choose some outfits. So it can be kind of dynamic that way.
Okay.
And also I have the costume store in Louisville, and if you're using the pit stop mod, there's also the Spirit of Authentic Z
Ooh.
shop too. The idea of it came with Spirit of Halloween. There's it's a kind of a shop, like a costume Halloween shop that pops up. It's a seasonal shop in America, and that pops up in different outlets. And so yeah, we kind of modeled modeled it after that. And yeah, the loot that it spawns there. You can define all the different masks and costumes. Um,
So
yeah,
what?
it's definitely it's an addition. I'm great. I'm actually that I'm glad I implemented, because I can I can't. Oh well, I would say, how to rephrase it. With the costume stores, I can really make whatever I want, and not be restricted to the time frame per se, to break the lore. I would just rename it to something like if it's some silly object or some fantasy object, I would just kind of name it as such, some generically fantasy silly object, party object. So yeah, I can really make whatever I want and just put it in the costume store as a costume store exclusive. So yeah,
Well,
it's
where was this costume store again? In Louisville, with the
yeah,
pit stop mod as well.
it's on the main street. It's if you look at the store page or the workshop page for Authentic Z, I actually have a screenshot of it.
Ah,
There's
okay.
also there's a sign that gets spawned right in front of the shop. So it says like outfits on sale. So costumes on sale.
Ah, okay. I know what I'm hunting in the server later then. I'm hunting me some clothes shops. So talked about the animals, the crafting system. There is one more thing that I want to touch on with you before the end, and that's obviously the what we haven't talked about yet is the NPC system that the Indistoni is doing. How mad and in depth is that system that they're gonna bring out? Right, it's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, and that the stuff that they release so far, yeah, that's each NPC kind of has their own story. It kind of I kind of expect something of that. It's a very daunting project that it's definitely something I wouldn't really want to undertake because that's you're building everything from scratch, and yeah. I mean, I've had a lot of fun playing Superb Survivors over the years. Of course, currently it doesn't really work that well, but yeah, it's interesting it'll be interesting what they do and how they'll implement it. Again, they're gonna need optimize a whole lot with the game engine for everything to work well and seamless. You know.
I'm wondering, do you reckon we're going to get shot at by NPCs? Do you reckon that's going to be? I reckon that might be a sandbox setting as maybe aggressive NPCs that are kind of like the expanded helicopter event, right? With
Oh yeah.
the police helicopter. I wonder if I mean, I guess if Indie Stone don't do it, then some modder will come up with a way to make NPCs aggressive and attack your house and stuff like that potentially.
Oh, I bet that they'll implement, or at least have a sandbox option for hostile NPCs. Oh yeah, they'll definitely put it in. But yeah,
Yeah,
so
I can definitely see that. I mean, we talked about this on stream probably a few weeks ago now about a. I'm trying to think of the best way to word this. Is maybe like a trading system. Do you reckon we'll see some sort of trading system in PZ? I mean, chat at the time said about money, but I would rather see like an item for item trading. Like you trade this spiked baseball bat for 3 or 4 metal sheets, for example. Could you see that sort of thing coming to PZ at all?
yeah, like bartering, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, I mean, they could try to do some sort of system where you like kind of convert an item into I don't know gears. There's a server that I played on that used gears as the currency, but or like convert an item down or like similar thing would be like bottle caps, right? They could do something like that. I
this ain't Fallout.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it could be just standard bartering. I'll take your 2 chickens for my 5 things of coffee, or 5 cans of
Yeah,
coffee, stuff like that. But then I don't know, like then you have like tier. You're gonna have to make some sort of tiered list in terms of value, right?
yeah. Or are you just gonna end up with like a million pieces of something that's rare, right? You're gonna like trade this weapon and get like a katana, and then trade this and then get like a level 3 backpack, and you're just gonna be so um OP by the end of it, right? Like I mean, if they can get it working right, it'll be a ton of fun, right? But if they can't do it, it's gonna be absolutely disastrous to this game, right? If they, I mean, they might not even want to do it with the NPCs, but it'll be very interesting to see if they do implement this sort of stuff.
Well, I would really like to see like like have a traveling traveling store or traveling bar salesman that will take up shop in like I don't know some shop here there. I mean maybe like a weekly or a monthly event where he comes on over, kind of like in like Z Nation. You would see those
Yeah.
uh, yeah, you see the those two guys you know selling their goods.
Oh,
But yeah,
them two guys from Z Nation, the con artists, basically, right?
con artists, yeah. Well, I mean, they sold some like some of the starting weapons here, yeah. So that yeah, but yeah, they turn out later to kind of be like con artists, yeah.
Yeah. Have you finished
Uh,
Z Nation?
no, I stopped in like season 3 area because I was losing interest, and
Yeah.
from what I've heard from other people, that that was actually kind of a good point to stop because the rest of the series kind of went to crap.
It does get a bit wild. I think I'm on season 4 or 5 maybe, and it's just like, what the fuck is going on? I mean, it was really good. I don't know if you remember. Like, I think it was in the first season where the doctor fell down an elevator shaft and he's smoking weed into the zombie's face, and the zombies getting stoned.
they always toyed killing that character, right? You know, but I know they really hesitated and ended up not doing it, and because I mean, he turned out to be one of the most iconic characters through the show. So.
Yeah, he's definitely one of my favorite characters in Z Nation for sure. I think that's about it for my questions, to be honest. Actually, have you got any other mods coming? So not to be added to Authentic Z. Have you got any more branches that you've got planned on the way, or that you can tell us about, or do you want to keep them under wraps?
No, I won't keep under wraps. I want to make like a kind of a clown motorcycle or something like that. You know, kind of based on All Stars Motor Club. You know, as on their framework, but have be able to attach many balloons to it. I think that would be really cool. I've been trying to think of a way for you for the character to hold more than 3 balloons, and for the game to track what colored balloons that you have. That I also want to implement my own silly dancing mod, which has more rambunctious and trendy dance styles, like flossing, that type of deal. Yeah, it's just, a mod to kind of make some of the ultra realistic fanboys in the community angry, like
get those Fortnite dancers in, bring them in.
Exactly. yeah, exactly those. Yeah. Then I think there's like one other thing. Yeah, here and there. Yeah. So that's what's kind of in the pipeline after Authentic Z.
I think you missed off the Paul Blart scooter from there, right? I'm sure that's on your list somewhere.
Maybe, but we'll see.
Oh my god! Could you imagine if that Paul Blart that scooter ends up? Do you like the skateboard? Did you ever see the skateboard mod when it was first released? It was an animal. I know, like, you fall off it easy now.
I haven't really played with it. I've only kind of seen it, like, oh yeah, there's like a key for the skateboard just lying around and whatnot,
Yeah. So when the skateboard mod was first released, I remember watching Djax. I think it was Djax trying out the skateboard mod, and he was literally running through like 100 to 200 zombies and killing them all, and he wasn't taking any damage, and the skateboard didn't break at all. It was pretty wild, actually.
It kind of gives it like a good Dead Rising feel, I guess.
Actually, I have got some more questions. Now I think about it. What is the weirdest mod you've ever seen in the workshop? Because I imagine as a modder, you probably do quite a bit of scrolling through the workshop to, I don't know, maybe for ideas, to see what's about. I'm just wondering what the weirdest mod is that you've ever seen in the Steam workshop for Zomboid.
My question, I'll answer that with a question. Do you really want to know that?
Oh yes, I would like nothing more.
So right,
we need to see how nasty this community is, right?
I mean, there have been a lot of talks of a sex mod, and
oh dear, what, with zombies?
It has been made, but it's very low key. So
my god!
But I'm providing any links. But there is also I think this mod's still up, the drinkable boob mod that you can loot off the zombies.
I talk about this one all the time. I think that one got took down because you could milk yourself as a man or a woman.
No, that was a separate one. That's the lactation mod.
Oh, that's the one I'm thinking of.
Oh yeah. So yeah, that's the top 3. Okay, yeah. Yeah, some people are kind of
Just let their imaginations
well,
run wild.
it's what happens when you have like kind of degenerates, but that able to do stuff. They make stuff like that, and it's like, wow, that's okay, bro. If that's what you want to spend your time doing, fine. But man, that is just weird.
Peach, I feel like your DMs after this podcast are going to be full asking for that that zombie sex mod. I feel like people are going to be coming your way.
Yeah, but I'll just go. I'll just tell them to go outside and touch grass.
That's definitely the best way for sure. So, if it's okay with you now, Peach, we're gonna go ask chat to ask some questions if they've got anything else for you. If that's all right.
Yeah.
Chat, ask away, highlight it, do whatever you want. So if you've got any questions for either myself or Peach, now is the time to get it in chat and get your answers from the all knowledgeable Peach. Any questions, chat, just go ahead and fire away. We are ready. It's been a good time though, chat. I hope you've enjoyed the podcast so far. If you guys don't have anything to ask, within the next minute or so, we'll probably wrap up the podcast. But I want to thank you all for hanging out for the podcast. So, any questions, chat? Far away. That's a very good one. Peach is in college, by the way, Savage. So, Wuo asked, where did you come up with the name Authentic Peach? I was actually going to ask you this earlier, and then I got distracted talking about the Zomboid sex mod. Yeah, it's consumed me.
Yeah, so not sure if I really want to answer that on stream. That's usually a question I ask in like private voice chats. Well, what I came up with it anyway in high school, and I thought it was very fitting as over the online username I had at the time. I thought this one was just a whole lot better. It fits me as a person, whole lot more.
Is the reasoning? Sorry.
The reasoning.
Is the reasoning that you don't want to go into it? Is it because it's too lewd, too sexual, or just a little too personal?
No. It would be too personal, but
Oh, gotcha.
with the authentic part anyway. Just since stuff on the internet, and the people you meet on the internet, you kind of crave for meeting people that are like truly what they are, and not um and not playing just a character,
Fake,
or
yeah.
or catfish you or whatnot. I mean, what you see here, that's that's who I am. So I'm not I don't have like a full deck underneath the full I'm not cheating underneath the table type of deal.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, I get
so.
you. All right, that makes sense. That's fair enough. Thanks for answering that, Peach. So we got another one. Savage has asked, what made you want to get into modding? Like, what made you go, oh, I want to really start modding Project Zomboid?
Yeah, so it was kind of two main reasons. One was, that thought of, oh, wouldn't it be great if this was put into the game? That thought, and so I've heard a lot, because I was hanging out in like the Project Zomboid Discord in their voice chats, and I hear that all the time, and I was like, what if I try that? What if I do it? The whole like Thanos meme of fine, I'll do it myself type of deal. Yeah, it was that, and plus I would find out like with all the unused animations, like they've been sitting there for years on end. I'm like, well, I don't want to wait years going forward to see these implemented. Let's flush them out. Let's see them for myself. Let's actually use them. I don't want to. I don't want to have. By the time these get released, I don't want to already have my own kids and be in a totally different situation when they finally, get implemented. So, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense to I'm kind of like that. I'm like, you know what, this would be a really cool mod, but then I'm like, you know what, I haven't got the skills or the patience to probably sit there and mod anything in the game, to be honest.
Well, skills can be built up, right? But of course, I mean, patience. You definitely have to have patience and motivation. As long as you have those two things in this community, you can do whatever you want. You can make whatever you want.
Like sex mods for zombies.
I guess.
Or lactating boobies. So Rose actually had a very good question as well. So Rose has asked you, is there a mod that you wish existed that's not made, or it's just like impossible to make? He's got his thinking brain on. I see the old cogs turning right there.
Let's see. Well, I really want them to update their throwable system with, because the only thing you can really throw is a Molotov or a Molotov reskin. Bomb basically, right? Yeah, there's definitely a whole lot of things that can be made. I can't think of them off the top of my head because I put those ideas to bed long ago. But yeah, and that's another thing. Once you kind of really go down the rabbit hole, you have to learn to not just throw your ideas away into the waste bin when you find out that not really possible currently, but you should put them on a list somewhere so when somebody actually proves that it is possible, then maybe you want to revisit that old idea you had. So for me, I would really want them to update the throwables because I really want to be able to throw my glow sticks, in authentic Z.
Yeah.
That's one a lot of people wished that was possible, but it's not really with how they have things set up. So
I was gonna say, like, throwing Molotovs and throwing Molotovs especially because you need a lighter in one hand, you need a Molotov in the other, and it's just so incredibly janky to really throw it. I feel like you should be able to do it off your inventory as well with the lighter. The lighter should just be able to be in your primary, and then Molotov in there as well. I don't know, like it could just be so much easier rather than being janky as fuck as it is.
Yeah, like another thing building off of that would be like throwing rocks or like or empty tin can to make noise, kind of almost adjacent to it would be a much better bow and arrow mod, crossbow mod.
Oh yeah, crossbow would be so fun because you get so many people playing as like Daryl from from The Walking Dead, and
yeah,
I like that idea for a mod for sure. You know what I'd like to see actually? Now we were talking about the throwables, I'd love to see like a boomerang or like a batarang or something, and then have like a Batman outfit and just run around as Batman, throwing batarangs.
Somebody already made a Batman outfit. Yeah, it's one in one of the clothing mods. It's very underrated. I forget the name of it. It's Ninja Wizards costumes. Ninja Wizards. I forget. It's by the modern Ninja Wizard, and he made a whole bunch of superhero outfits, Star Wars outfits. Man, he made so many different outfits, and because he used to mod for Sims 4, and so he kind of ported all his creations over to Zomboid. So that's why a lot of things was already made. He was just have to kind of convert things to Zomboid format. So definitely recommend that mod if you want, all these different types of outfits, superhero outfits that you want.
Yeah, we'll have to check that out because I remember, I don't know if it was Dark Moriarty or someone, but there was what was it? You could do like a baseball bat merged with something else, and it would give you like Shaun of the Dead's cricket bat, and you could get Aquaman's trident. Although the weapon didn't obviously become OP, you could also get like Mjolnir. It would still have the base weapon stats. So you do like a hammer merged with another item, and it would look like Mjolnir. and it would still do the same base damage, which is pretty cool. I feel
Oh.
like that was Dark Moriarty. I can't remember the name of the mod off the top of my head. Chat, is there anything else you want to ask Peach? We'll see if chat want to shoot any more questions to you, and then we'll go from there. I still don't see a first Oid Indie Stone. Ah, yeah, Rolt, that's the one.
Yeah, probably a little bit late on it.
I'm not angry right now, I'm just disappointed. So, Wuo has just asked, is there any mods you'd like to see, but not do yourself? So, like, would you rather, like, is there anything so complex that you wouldn't want to do yourself, but you'd still like made, like the Paul Blart segue?
Let's see. I mean, other than what was already mentioned, I think I kind of already said it. I'm glad I haven't really gotten too deep into the vehicle upgrading systems because those are quite complex. You know, on how those work with auto stars. I guess before it was the motorcycle mod, auto stars motor club. Yeah, I'm glad I wasn't involved in that and I'm really enjoying that mod. So
Yeah, Auto Stars has got to be, well, probably one of the best car mods out there, right? So what was it? Is it? I think it's like the 59 Cavalier mod. It's the one that adds Ecto 1, the Ecto 1 from Ghostbusters. Now that car is a pain in the ass to fix up because it doesn't have like heavy tires on it or like heavy duty tires or whatever. It has its own brand of tires. So
oh really? Yeah.
So to fix it up, you've literally got to go out and find other Ecto 1s and get tires from it, and they're so rare as well. We were looking everywhere in the server. We were like, we need to fix the tires. We need to fix the tires, and like we literally found like 2 other Ectos on the whole map, and it was like,
yeah.
Oh god, yeah. Oh, good times.
Yeah, all the vehicle mods. Yeah, I know Skizot with his ice cream truck mod, his lawnmower mod, and I think he also made the garbage truck mod. He's been making some really cool other vehicle mods too, and so yeah, it's just really cool seeing what people do. I mean, I made the one cheese car mod, and you know, just kind of I get myself ankle deep into vehicle modding, but you know, I guess you can say that a whole part. You know, yeah, I don't really want to go that deep, but actually, I mean, okay, another mod that I wanted to do was kind of bring some like cyberpunk esque motorcycles again, building off of AutoStar's Motor Club, making motorcycles like the ones you see in Akira, the anime movie Akira, and yeah, yeah, so.
Definitely sticking away from those car mods for now. Just sticking to the old clothing and the fat zombies for sure.
Okay. Another thing was when this was actually the first project I started in modding in Project Zomboid modding. It was I tried to get into map modding, which actually ties into like what something that indie stone developers can actually improve on is redo the UI on the mapping tools because for me, of course, the big issue with my first project in map modding was my scope was way too big. I would try to make my the city that I live in, but of course, you know, making a city mod, no, it was a way too big of a scope. I mean, I was focusing on my neighborhood, then I was going to expand outwards, but then you know the tools were messing up on me, and then things weren't just working out. encountering so many different problems, and so I just canned it for good and haven't looked back on map modding ever since. But of course, if you want to get into map modding, talk to Plenty T and Dylan about it. They're at the forefront of it. I respected the art, but I don't like doing it myself.
Is it incredibly more complex to come up with map mods than it is to say clothing mods?
So the big thing about it that you'll notice right away is that you hit you hit a wall right away, in terms of like you have a creative idea in your brain and you want to express that, you want to create it. But with map modding, you have to thoroughly learn the tools to create, to kind of create, bring that idea to life. And like with the custom assets that Dylan and Plenty T have made and put into their various projects, that's form of map creation. It's quite complex. I would say probably grand total, probably 10 to 15 other modders in the community have been able to do that over the past 7 years. So, yeah, probably 15 to 20. It's a very low number though. That's why I like 3D modeling though, because if I see if I have an idea, I can easily make it. Right. I don't want to have to jump through hoops to bring an idea to life, because then you have to have a lot of motivation and drive to keep going through it, to overcome obstacles that you certainly encounter.
Indie Stone mentioned, I don't know if I'm losing my mind or not, Indie Stone mentioned about adding predetermined buildings, didn't they? Or coming up with do you know what I'm trying to say? They were trying to think of certain style buildings, so instead of having to create them all from scratch, you could literally go donk on the map. I don't know if you've read that anywhere.
Yeah, was that a doorbell?
Yeah, sorry, 2 secs, my door's ringing. Chat, 2 secs. Sorry, Peach, I'll be back a sec.
Okay. Yeah, Ruo. TileZ is very unintuitive. I would say TileZ's the reason why I quit map modding.
Sorry, my wife is ordering a ton of shit for something. I got no idea what it is. Yeah, so Wuo said they released thousands of prefab buildings, so the mappers don't have to create thousands of houses per map. So you can literally just drag and place them. I guess.
To be honest, like making the buildings from scratch themselves was actually the most enjoyable part of map modding I found. Yeah. I mean, if because I worked a little bit with Dylan, and I actually some of the houses that I made from that old project attempt, they were put into Blackwood. Some of the different houses, and I think even in a little bit in Grapeseed too. I think it was just mostly Blackwood. Anyway, yeah, it's just the UI is so unintuitive in TileZ and in WorldEd, but it's mostly TileZ. There are 3 programs involved. Of course, technically a 4th if you want to really make things from scratch. But yeah, Building Ed, TileZ, and WorldEd. But the tool for making Building Ed, I would say again, it's actually the more fun aspect of it. I had more fun actually making the stuff from scratch than otherwise. It was childhood. I just encountered too many bugs, too many obstacles, and it just wanted me to quit anyway. That again, that's just my opinion. Don't let it discourage you, of wanting to make your own map mod.
There's definitely a lot of ads that that go into map modding with all them programs. Oh my god. So Marine had a question for you. Marine said, if you were on the dev team, what would you focus your time on? Would you focus it on bugs, new content, changing things up? Like, what would be your primary focus for PZ at this point if you were a developer?
Yeah, like let's say I knew a whole lot more. I was, let's say I'm a bit older, and I know really perfect my craft, to know the ins and outs of different systems. Yeah, I would definitely work more on on the 3D modeling end, but more so with like I know there's certain parts of the engine need to be kind of reworked with like the shading and everything, kind of like the shading, the masking, anyway. Or maybe, because the item system too is pretty um, rigid too. That a lot of people like kind of ask for certain types and items to have certain characteristics. Like, well, how would you wear like a backpack that can also work as a radio? You can probably like wear a radio on your back, but you can't have a clothing type and a radio type and have their characteristics, their code, work interchangeably. That's just not how it works. Fundamentally, it can't work that way. You would have to kind of do all these little workarounds that it's not preferable, but sometimes you got to get it done. You want to do it right. So yeah, I would either say that or just 3D modeling in general, or working with the animations. I think I'm kind of pointing towards adding more animations and integrating them into the game.
Yeah, definitely. There's no such thing as too many animations, is there really? I know one of our community members, I think it might have been Beaver. Beaver was you were saying about the line of code. Basically, you can't get something to be two things, like the backpack being a radio and a backpack, for example. He was trying to use, so the double gun holster. He was trying to do it so that a hammer and a screwdriver and stuff could go in the double holster, but also have the option to go into the belt, if that makes sense. And we just could not figure out a way. I don't even know if it's possible, to be fair, because there's a mod, isn't there? Katanas and machetes on your belt rather than on your back as well. But I don't know if that mod allows you to still have them on your back, or if it's belt only, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, actually, I would say it's kind of if you it's actually pretty possible with just tweaking those vanilla items of the belt, of the double holster,
Okay.
right? You want that double holster for it to hold a hammer, right? And yeah, it's just a tweak. It's just a matter of just tweaking the. It was just a few lines of code, and if he is still interested in that project, I would invite him to look at my code in Authentic Z. I have a file where I tweak different vanilla objects so that it would it would tweak that item, that script, to include these attachments, whatnot. So
Okay, awesome.
yeah.
Beaver, if you're in the chat, go chat with Peach for his authentic Z code. So we had another question. Let me find it. So obviously you're making the fat dad, the fat mods, the dad bod, the takeaway man mod, and the obese mod. Is it possible? I don't know if this is possible. Is it possible to have that as your character in game? Like, how hard or difficult would that be to do? To have that as your actual character model?
Yeah. So, right. My whole point of like, control your scope, and stick to the scope that you have in mind. I wouldn't say the worst thing that can happen to you as a mod is if you tackle too big of a scope, um, because you'll basically get crushed by it and overwhelmed by it. But with my scope with the fat models, was for zombies only, right? And so I'm gonna flush that out, at, because once I with this update, it will be kind of the male fat models. Afterwards, I'll tackle the female models. From I would say after that, I mean, it will definitely involve quite a bit of coding, to kind of match it up per your units of weight that you have on your that your character weighs, right? And pair up with a model, yeah, and then having it so the clothing works the way you think you want it, but then
That's the biggest
is
pain in
that
the arse, I imagine, is the individual items of clothing attaching to that character model, right?
yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, and I guess when you're at like the more fatter stages, how you would be able to interact with the normal clothing, you know, because I know there was this one other mod that kind of implemented different sizes with clothing, even though there weren't any visual differences. It was just more like you can check the tag and see like, oh, okay, this is a size large or size medium. So something like that would have to be implemented like in that aspect. But that I don't think I'll be doing any of this for Authentic Z. It would have to be a totally separate mod because it'll have all these new systems.
I really like your workflow. Wuo said it as well. The fact that you have a system in place, you focus on one thing at a time. Whereas if that was me, I'd be like, right, I'm starting this one. I'm starting this one. All right, we're gonna do this. Like, we're doing this. And like, I'd probably have
Yeah,
like 7 or 8 projects going at one
and an
time.
ever expanding scope. And
Yeah,
then I would say, yeah, it's one of the worst things that you can do because then you stretch yourself out on so many fronts, and then stuff gets half implemented and never done.
yeah, definitely. Chat. Do you have any more questions for Peach? We'll give you like 30 seconds to ask them. Any more questions? We'll have a quick look at the first Oid as well and see if that's what's up. First Oid, are you up? That's a negative on that one, Batman. Any other questions, chat, you want to ask? Peach, I would really want to Wuo said, did you have breakfast? I did double check because it was quite early when we started. I think it was like 7:45 when Peach jumped in the Discord.
Yeah, I had breakfast.
Peach, I want to thank you for answering all these questions, coming on the podcast. I hope you have a fantastic time, guys. If you want to go check out Peach, I'll drop his link in the chat. But Peach, thank you so much for coming on. And yeah, I love your mods. I'm sure 99.9% of the Project Zomboid player base loves Authentic Z and all your mods. So yeah, thank you for all your mods, all your hard work, and thank you for coming on the show, dude. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, pleasure to be here. And yeah, anything with Authentic Z, I'll be releasing a survey coming up for some more feedback on different aspects. So be on the lookout for that.
Oh, we will. Just slam it in the Discord and we'll be all over it for you. All right, nice one. Thank you, Peach. I'll catch you later.
All right.
Slay those zombies, baby.